All right, let's do it again. Let's do it again. What's going on, folks? It's your guy, the 10X Closer, and welcome to the Garage Billionaire podcast. And I'm here with my co-host,
Nesky Petty Home. I am Mr. Real Estate Miami.
and we have a special guest, Mr. Welby. And what's going on, brother?
Good, man. How are you, my man?
We doing pretty good, man. We just here, chopping it up. I'm just reaching out to everybody that's out there doing big things. And, you one of the top guys that I chop it up with. So, we just trying to find out what's going on in your world.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. You see me. I'm in my office. My car's my office. So
I feel you.
I'm all over the place in my cars. So that's what it is.
I got you. So now what? You on the road today? You running through projects, right?
Well, actually, I got 3 closings today, man. So I'm gonna have a busy day today. So I got 3 closings going on today. Um, uh, yeah, three. I got 3 purchases going on today.
That's what's up.
So
That's what's up.
yeah.
Okay. That's cool. So, real quick, just wanted to get a little information from you, Welby. Like where you from?
Currently now I live in New York. I live in Long Island, New York right now. I'm first generation Haitian American.
Okay.
What is it? I'm one of 5 boys that my parents had. I'm a twin also. I have a twin brother. I grew up in Brooklyn originally. My preteens, we grew up in Brooklyn, and then from our teenage years till my early 20s or so, I was in Hollis, Queens. Believe it or not, the house that I'm living in, or my parents still have, that was actually the childhood home of DMC from Run DMC.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the same house that DMC from Run DMC. That we bought that house, and my parents bought that house at the peak of their career, and we still got that house now. And then now I live out in Long Island in the suburbs.
Okay, so that's what's up. That house got some history. So I mean, you say they bought it at the peak of Run DMC's career. So I'm taking that's a nice house.
I mean, it's a regular house. When they moved out of the house, they bought their parents an even larger house in Long Island, but it's a regular house in Queens, New York. Nothing extravagant.
Got it. Oh, okay. So basically, that was the house they lived in
That was
before
their
they.
that was his childhood home.
Yeah.
And yeah, basically, yes.
Gotcha.
Okay, that's what's up. So, I mean, Welby, well, I know for a fact that you're in real estate. We talk real estate all the time. Um, let the people know, where do you do business in general?
Well, when I first started in the business, back in 03, 04, I started first in Atlanta.
Okay.
And it didn't really work out the way I had hoped, because not a few years after that, that's where the market crashed and tanked, and I lost all the properties that I had out there. And then I was still living in New York. I had to dust myself off and then restart again, and I started buying properties in the Bronx. I did some deals in Queens. I made some good money with that, but the market still was a bit volatile. And then I ended up going back to Atlanta again, buying again, and I got wiped out again. And from that point, I dusted myself off again, started all over again, rebuilding myself up, started buying again in New York. I made a little bit of money, and then I started transitioning into Connecticut. And I've been in Connecticut now a number of years. And so I live in New York, but I predominantly do all my real estate transactions in Connecticut.
I got you. So you commute back and forth from New York to Connecticut.
Yeah. It's about, if you know how to pimp the traffic, it takes about an hour, 15 minutes to get there.
Okay, and you.
Going back home, it could take a little longer if you don't know how to pimp the time that you leave.
Right. I know traffic, rush hour. So you're putting in about a couple of hours commute every day, just getting from point A to point B.
Give or take, give or take. But I got a team of guys that working for me, so a lot of the the grunt work and stuff like that I was involved in at the beginning of my career. I don't really do
Okay.
much of that anymore. My predominant my priority right now is focusing on finding deals, purchasing them. I just actually got another house today under contract. Right before you called me, I got a text message from my realtor that I got another multi-unit. So I'll be closing on
That's
that
what's
one in
up.
maybe another
That's
3
what's up.
weeks or so.
Big dog talk. Big dog talk.
Yeah, man.
Ain't big dog. It's no big dog, man. I tell everybody, I'm sure everybody hears me say it all the time. I'm not doing anything special. It's just the difference between me and anybody else is that I'm actually taking action and I'm putting in the effort to try and make things happen, you know.
Facts.
Right.
So anything I'm doing is anyone can do, and it's similar. It's true what they say. It's like trying to push a train by hand. You know that they have those trains in, I think it's Japan, that if you push it a little bit physically, you can actually move it one person. But to get the momentum going, it takes some time, and it's the same thing with the real estate. You just keep putting in the work, and before you know it, the train is going to start moving a little bit faster and faster and faster. So
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. And that's what I say. You know, it's a lot of it's a lot of, you know, people that talk about it and they not really about it, you know.
listen, I tell anybody all day, I got receipts. So anything I'm talking about, you don't gotta believe anything I say. Go check it out yourself. My name is out there. Go to everything is public record. Go and pull it up public record. Any property you see I walk through, I don't use no properties as props. Those are all my homes. It's either they're my homes outright
right.
clear, or a home that I'm in contract, and I'm just gonna vet the deal to make sure it's something I'm gonna continue the process of buying it. But I could back up anything I'm saying, you know, and that's what a lot of the people that are trying to get into this industry, you need to be very careful, because a lot of the stuff that you're watching and paying attention to on social media and on TV is make believe. It's not the way you think it's gonna
That's
Right.
be until
true.
you get
Right.
involved. Just be
That's
careful out here.
true. Definitely. Now, I mean, you mentioned that, you know, you did business in a couple of states, you know, you did business in ATL. How long have you been in the business? When did you start?
I've been in the business about 15 years or so.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah, about that. I started officially started where I actually started acquiring property in 2004.
Okay.
Officially started. It was the seed that got planted in me to want to actually be in real estate. That started when I was maybe about 6 or 7, 8 years old, somewhere at that time. Um, but actually physically being involved in the industry and trying and getting my feet wet sometime in '04 is when
Okay,
I
that's what's
started
up.
doing
So
business.
you're saying that you started to get interested in real estate at how old?
Between 6 and 8 years old,
Six.
7 years old, somewhere in that area.
Now, how did that happen?
I was
Because
just
that
about to ask that.
sounds, you
Well,
know,
what
that
what
sounds
was it?
young.
What
Yeah.
was it that ticked you?
It's crazy how you say people can influence you without even realizing that they influence you,
Right.
Right.
right? Remember, I told you that I'm first generation Haitian American, and you guys are
Yeah.
Haitian too,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Definitely.
You guys you kind of understand what I'm saying. So when my parents came here, we they didn't come with anything. And when we first started, we were living in the projects. My parents was renting rooms, building ourselves up. My mother has a cousin of hers, which happened to be my godfather. He was the first Haitian man that I knew and I met that actually owned his own home. Not only he owned his own home, he owned his own home in Long Island, in the
Okay.
suburbs of Long Island. And he used to come and pick up me and my brothers periodically, and then also my family used to go and visit him from the projects to go visit him at his home, and I would, so we could hang out with our little cousins and stuff like that. And the one thing that always resonates in my mind about that experience was the fact that my cousin would give us his bicycle to ride, and we were able to ride our bikes in the middle of the street because we were in
Right.
the suburbs. Cars didn't frequent the streets that often. And I was just blown away. My twin brother and my other brothers were blown away, like, oh my God, we could ride our
Right.
bikes in the street, not just on the sidewalk. We couldn't do that in the projects. And periodically, my godfather, he only did that 1 or 2 times in my entire life, but he actually took me with him where he was collecting rent from tenants and stuff like that. He had another 2 properties that he owned, and that always stuck in my mind. I always knew that I was gonna one move to Long Island. I didn't know how I was gonna do it, but I knew I was gonna end up living in Long Island. And two, I just fell in love with real estate because of those two or three transactions that I went through with my godfather. And from that point on, I always knew somehow I was going to be involved in real estate. I just didn't know the magnitude of
No,
what I
that's
was
what's
going
up.
to do,
That's
but
what's up. That's an
I knew
amazing
I was
story
going to be
too.
involved in real estate one way or another.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of stories, but I've never heard someone, um, got into real estate or even, thinking to that level at, 7, 8 years old. That's kind of crazy. What did you do before real estate?
Well, obviously I was going to school because our Haitian parents don't play that.
Right,
Exactly.
right,
It's like go to
right.
school. It's like forget about all your dreams. You got to go to school.
L'école, l'église, la caille.
There you go. And then with our Haitian culture, we were always trained that if you weren't a doctor, a lawyer,
Right.
an engineer or something like that, then you're a
Yeah.
bum
Facts,
or
Yeah.
a
facts,
vagabond,
Exactly.
facts.
So I was going to school. I graduated high school, and then from there I actually was going to school studying law.
Okay.
Did that for about a year and a half, and I realized after investigating it, the money that I was expecting to make, it looked just more glamorous than what it really
I
Right.
hear that.
was. You understand, right? Because you think that because somebody is walking around in a suit, hard bottoms, that they're a success. And most of the people I've ever met that were like that, they were scraping the bottom as well, trying to figure themselves out. So from that point, I stopped going to school. I became a security guard, and I was doing security for a number of years. And I was always a hustler, man. So I was always hustling, selling cars, buying cars, fixing them up, reselling the cars to build up
Right.
money. I was always grinding, but I did the security guard thing for a number of years. Then after being a security guard, I got blessed with an opportunity, and I got a job working for the utility company in New York. And then they blessed me and sent me to school to become a welder. And I did that for a number of years. And I utilized my employment at those times. I utilized my employment to leverage the position I needed to be so that I could then start getting involved with real estate. So that's the reason why today I press with people that are working 9 to 5s. Stop, stop knocking
Right.
yourself because you got a job. You need to applaud the fact that you are employed, and applaud the fact that you are employed. Be thankful that you're employed, and work your ass off and leverage that employment to get you in the position that you ultimately want to be. And if anybody understands entrepreneurs, we all got multiple jobs anyways. So don't think that because you have a job that means that you're not doing something positive and you're not going in the right direction. So that's what I did, and I took my employment and I just leveraged my employment to get involved with real estate. And I did a number of other businesses too. I owned a nursing agency. I owned a tire shop. I did a lot of different things. But I messed up a lot, and I made a lot of mistakes, but it helped me to get me
That's
to
what's
where
up.
I'm at
That's what's
today.
up.
So
Look,
I
I don't
take them
look
all
down
as a
at people with
blessing.
9 to 5s. 9 to 5s. Listen, if you got a 9 to 5 and you leveraging the 9 to 5 to make a better life for you in the future, that's what's up. But that's the people that's I'm doing a 9 to 5 and this is what they want to be stuck doing for the rest of their life. And I'm like,
And that's okay. And if that's what they want to, I tell anybody, if you happy with that, I'm happy for you. There's nothing wrong with that.
I get it. Right.
There's not, because guess what? You have entrepreneurs that are broke, and you have
facts,
employees that are
facts,
broke.
facts,
It's what
facts.
it's what you're gonna do with the opportunity that's given, and maximize it to the best of your ability to live the best life that you could provide yourself and your family. So whatever works, it works. I'm happy for you.
Nah, I get it. I get it. It's just that, man, when I see my peoples, I just look at them like, yo, this 9 to 5, you can use it to progress. But some people just use it and just, work 9 to 5, go home, drink a beer, and just blow the money. The money is not being worked. You get what I'm saying? That's what I have a problem with.
Nah, I think with the whole 9 to 5 thing, like you say, I don't knock it. And, I got a saying that everybody can't come. You feel me? If everybody wanted to be an entrepreneur, who would work for you?
Right. Right.
You would never
It's
have.
so rare to hear people say exactly what you said. Everybody wants to be a boss. Everybody wants to be a boss. Everybody wants that label or the portrayal of you doing greater than what you really are doing. Everybody wants that. I got this thing that if it's gonna make it better for my business to put you as the front leader, then that's what I'm gonna do. I don't care
Right.
I
about
believe in that.
accolades or anything like that. Yeah, I don't care about accolades. Sure that we're successful, whichever way we got to do it.
Right.
Exactly. I mean, the accolades, they only go so far. I think, going back to it, living the life that you really want to live, I believe that's what's, the most important. You can't watch the next person and be like, oh man, they got this, they got that, or, you know, they're doing this, they're doing that. I gotta go do the same thing. You want to do what works for you. And like I said, the 9 to 5, hey, it's cool for everybody else that want to do it. But if you're not, if you're dreading going to work every day and you're just waiting for the weekend, I think that is such a, for me, horrible life to live,
That's
because you wake up like, you're dreading to go to work. Why would I want to do something that I dread doing? And the crazy part about that too is they they get off of work. Everybody has the excuse that, well, I don't have enough time to do anything else, which I believe is BS, because you get off of work, you're waiting for the weekend so you could go drink and party and act like you had a successful week, while you could have been, if you're dreading your job, this is, the people that I'm speaking to. If you're dreading your job, you got to take that time to figure out something different. Like, take that spare time. You're making it seem like you could carve out an hour or two a day, just an hour before bed at night, to research something, or look into something that you want to do to, get out of the rat race. And you see on my gram, all I post all day is, that motivation, or like, for the people that's trying to get out of the grind, like, you can do it. It's like, it's not impossible, and that's kind of my thing. I'm just trying to take everybody to want to come, come with me, you know. Um now
I agree. I
I wanted
agree.
to touch on something that you stated in your stories, the falls and the setbacks, not the failures. I don't call them failures or falls, but setbacks that you learn from your setbacks. You went to invest in Atlanta and it ain't work out the way you wanted to work out. But the only thing you got good thing that you got from your setbacks, that it was a learning experience. And a lot of people don't understand that with success, that it comes times where you might not be successful with a project. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, you just got to keep on pushing. And that's another thing I took from the story that was inspirational to me, is that, you fell, but, you got right back up and kept on pushing. And that was deep to me.
I think that I'm probably one of the few people that you're gonna see out here that's promoting his failures.
Right.
And I say to everybody, I'm proud of my failures, and I wear them like a badge of honor, because it's
Respect.
impossible to get to the levels of whatever I'm doing, or other people that people aspire to
Right.
do, to be, excuse me. It's impossible that that person just went from 0 to 100 with no blemishes on their
I
record. It's
agree.
impossible, because we're with the way that the world is today. We're with a instant gratification. That's what everybody's looking for. Nobody wants to hear about those pitfalls. That's why I promote my pitfalls. I promote my failures. I show my failures. I post the videos up. I put that out there, because yes, I know you want to hear about how much money I made, and yeah, it's a lot of money that I made, and I thank God for it. But what about how many issues that I went
right.
through that process to get to that? we need to talk about that so that the people at least can have some level of preparation of understanding the things that they're gonna go through, that they will go through. I guarantee it. So, like I said, I wear my failures like with a badge of honor. I'm not embarrassed to admit that I went
Right.
through those things, and I still go through them now. I still go through them now, but I don't let those be enough to knock me down. I just keep going. I keep going. I keep going.
Right. I take those as
That's just
learning
how that
experience.
I'm
I
bred.
don't
So
even, I mean, while they may be a failure at that particular thing, it's not, I don't even look at it as a failure. It's a learning lesson because now you learn what not to do in that particular situation.
And that's what I was saying.
Now, being that we're on the topic, what were some of the obstacles that, you faced on your way up?
probably the hardest thing I have faced is the fact that most people are not looking to buy into your success. Most of the people that you're going to encounter, it could be family, it could be business associates, it could be friends, it could be strangers. Most of the people that you're going to encounter are not going to buy into your
True.
success. Most of the people that you're going to approach that you are looking to do business with are looking at you as an opportunity, which is fine because everything is an opportunity. But you would like to think that people would want to do
Right.
continued business with you rather than just a one stop shop. We did this deal. They raped you on whatever
Right.
they raped you on, and they move on. Hardest thing that I went through was going through this. I had no mentor. I'll be honest with you. If there was any mentors I had, my mentors were my
Right.
That's what's up.
failures. That was with my mentors. People that I did approach to that I thought had my best interest at heart or in mind. People that I thought that were in this industry that would think that would love to work with a young person that is looking to better himself and is serious about it, that had the credit, that had the employment, would say, "Man, let me work out a long-term situation with this person so we could continue working." That's not what happened. They would look at us. They looked at me as an opportunity. They looked at me at, if you don't know any better, especially these new people in this business today, I could tell you whatever the hell that I want to tell you, package it so beautiful, and because I'm giving you the imagery of what I want to give you, you're going to give me whatever I ask you. If I tell you give me 10,000, 50,000, 100, you're going to give me, and that's what happened to me. So when the person I'm believing in and I'm thinking is whatever it is I'm thinking that this person is or is representing to be, whatever they told me is I would do. Then later on, I'd find out that they sold me a property that belonged to a brother of theirs that was in a bad
Wow.
Wow.
predicament,
Okay.
and they were looking for a sucker to put it in their name and run off. Those are some of the things. That's a few of the times that happened to me. How you meeting realtors and you thinking because the realtor got a real estate license, you start to realize who give a fuck that you got a license, because most of these people are a bunch of bozos anyways. They don't even know what the hell they talking about, but yet they're licensed. So the same thing with contractors, the same thing with other people that are supposedly trying to do the same thing that you're doing. So those are the pitfalls that I went through so much that it derailed me so much that now if I would have
Uh huh.
had my godfather at the time who had already went through that, he never got to the scale that I'm at. He went through so much prior to me that it would have, pardon me,
No,
y'all.
that's
No
cool.
problem.
It would have eliminated a lot of the headaches that I did go through if I had somebody put me under his wing and truthfully want to see me succeed. So, I mean, I got so many stories. I mean, I could tell you about things that happened to me negatively in this game. You know, it was a bumpy
I
ride.
hear you. I hear you. Now, because I watch all of your stuff, and one of the things you talk about a lot is working with contractors. Um, Now you have the strategy that you use to not get burned by contractors that BS on the job and try to leave you hanging. Could you tell us a little bit about that? Like not, starting the work, not completing it, or not performing.
Here's the thing with the contractors,
Uh
right?
huh.
One of the things that anybody in this game got to understand, everybody wants to be a boss, right?
Right.
If you want to be a boss, then act like it. If you want to be a boss, then put yourself in a position to truly be in control of your situation. What I was doing at the beginning with contractors is that well, this is a whole other story, but let's just say that we got the property already, and now I already agreed on the price, and I'm going to get the contractor working. I would, I would, the contractor would tell me, hey, it's going to cost $50,000 to rehab this property. I would pay the contractor 20% of it, 50% of it, whatever the amount of money that it is. As the work would be progressed, the contractors always miraculously would find something else that wasn't accounted for that you need to spend another $5,000. You need to spend another $10,000. And every time when they would do that, they would always imply that they could not go any further than where they're at. So now anybody that's in this business, especially if you're new, you get scared, right? Scared, you're going to give him more money because you're afraid, my God, I don't have no experience. I don't know what I'm doing. This guy's telling me he's about to walk off the job. So I've got to give him the next 10,000. I got to give him the next 10,000. That's a trick that these cornball ass contractors like to play. And
I could imagine, because if they're talking about, well, this is the issue and we can't move forward. I mean, like,
imagine now you own a property. Remember, I told you want to be in control. In a situation like that, you're already in debt because you owe the property. You own the property. You're already in more debt because you paid the guy 50% of the money already. And this man who doesn't own shit, that already's been paid, is implying and threatening that he's about to walk off the job, and he's controlling your property. So then you're now going to give him even more money, because you don't want him to stop, because you're looking like, damn, I'm in debt X amount of money. And what am I going to do to get somebody else to come behind? And then you keep paying the money. That's a game that contractors play with you. They did that to me countless times. Now, most people, when they have their credit cards, most people utilize their credit cards for recreational purposes. Most people right now, I guarantee you there's a lot of people right now that are looking to get credit cards right now because Thanksgiving is coming, Christmas is coming, their favorite son is about to have a birthday, they got to spend and have a good time. I've never utilized a credit card for recreational purposes. I've always utilized credit cards for the purpose of growing and making even more money. What I started doing, I had noticed, is that I understood and I studied what the protections that credit cards give you. I'm not talking about any one particular credit card. They all have to give you this level of protection. So what I started doing is I started paying my contractors utilizing credit card payments. And I noticed the way that their whole approach towards you is totally different when they understand that you know the process of how this thing goes. By me utilizing my credit cards and paying my contractors with credit cards, the contractor, in that same scenario I presented to you of him implying or threatening that he's going to walk off the job, I'd almost beg him to please walk off the job. Because if he did walk off the job, he'd actually do me a favor. Because all I'm going to do is change up all the door locks, and I'm going to call up my credit card company and say, hey, this guy defaulted on the agreement that we have. I need my money back. And with the relationship I got with one of my credit card companies, the money would be literally back in my account the next day. When I realized that, I figured out that trick for me 10 years ago. All I did was perfect it. That's why people come to my classes and I show them what I do. I go to the point now with my contractors that, now my contractor's working for me, so that's a little bit different for me now. Could be a contractor and show up on my job site right now, and you tell me, hey, it's going to be $60,000. If it's within the budget that I need it to be in for it to be a success, first thing I tell them, do you want me to pay you in full? When I tell them that, they get terrified. And I say to them, listen, I just want you to understand, I'm more than willing to do this because there's absolutely nothing you could do to me. What is the date you're going to finish this project? I need you to tell me this now. And I know within the time period, as long as you do X, Y, Z, I know what level of protection I got. When they understand that you understand that game, you have no more problems with that.
I mean, it's a win-win for you because, I mean, they probably did half the work already, and now you get all your money back and you get somebody.
I'm actually up. You're doing me a favor if you walk off the job. You're doing me a favor. And the things that contractors like to say, they make comments to you. Oh, if I charge you on my credit card, I'm going to have to charge you the taxes. I pay a lot of money in taxes. Let me put it that way. I'm really worried about the extra $2,000 in taxes I got to pay you when we're talking about spending hundreds of thousands of dollars.
That's security.
that's one of the things that I've learned that I did. And from that point of doing that, they don't play with me. They don't play with me because they know I'm not playing. And I don't have no problem. I get my properties done in a timely manner. I get my properties done
Love it. I
efficiently,
love it.
and I move on.
Makes sense.
I
Makes
love it.
sense. Now you mentioned that you have classes. Could you tell us a little bit about your classes, where they're held?
Well, I used to do a lot of okay, what I would do a lot of before, people would come and do meetups with me.
Uh huh.
Actually invite people. Well, they're gonna pay me for it because it got a little bit too crazy. But they come and meet up with me, and I would take them to at least 2 to 3 of my properties, and I would take them to different stages of my properties. So they would see the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Okay.
The bad would be the initial purchasing of the property, how bad the property looks. Most of the time, these people, when they would come, they don't even want to walk in to that first property because it's so bad. I have flooded basements up to your chest in water, rats, you name all that. But this is the stuff that you people who claiming that you want to get into this industry have to come and see
Right.
and understand. To smell literally the dead body that's probably inside there. You need to understand that. Then I take them to the second property that's maybe midway done. And then I take them to the last property that's 100% done, staged, ready to move in. So they get to see the whole spectrum. And then I get them to hang out with me for the day. By the time I'm done with them for that day of a few hours, you're going to get enough information that you need to leave and start doing your own thing. If you ain't doing your own thing,
Nah.
ain't nobody going to help you. And then I do a lot of consultations where people call in on me, and I'll do a half an hour phone conversation with them, so at least I can get you into the right direction of where you need to be. And I got a lot of people that are students, if you want to call them that have actually experienced dealing with me, and they'll tell people, the world, how their lives have been changed, and they've avoided a lot of the pitfalls that I went through, because at least they had somebody that had the experience that they don't have, to have them avoid the issues that they're going through now, that they could have potentially
Got
gone
you.
through if they
Got you.
didn't know any better.
Now, with these students, or I should say, consultant clients, in some cases, do you offer resources like
Well, the resources, the number one resource that you need is to get your ass up off the seat and get going. That's your number one resource.
facts?
Everything else is in front of you. But if they're talking about hard money, I got a ton of hard money lenders I work with.
Uh huh.
If it's for credit repair, I got the resources for them to get that done. If it's the game plan that they need to get involved with either buying and holding, if it's the flipping, if it's the wholesaling, I give them the whole game plan on that. And I do the phone consultations predominantly because I got people throughout the country that calls me. So many of them that's not even in the states that I'm working in. So at least they have access to be able to converse with me and talk with me about that.
Got you. So, I mean, do you walk people through deals, like through an actual deal, or it's kind
I
of
could do that too. If they have an actual deal, I walk them through the entire process. I'll even tell them based off of what they represent to me. Because if you're in oh, I don't know, Texas. I don't know the market of Texas, but the process is the same everywhere. I don't care if you're working in New York, Florida, whatever. The process is the same. So based off of the information that you represent to me, I could definitely walk you through the process and make sure that it's a viable deal based off of what you tell me. I'll definitely walk you through the process of what to do to protect yourself, and make sure that you put yourself in the best situation possible to make sure that you win. Absolutely, I do
That's what's
that
up.
daily.
okay.
That's what's up.
Now, how do you fund your deals? Now, do you use your personal cash? Do you recommend hard money, private
I
money?
do a combination of everything. At one point, a couple of years ago, I was funding everything myself. As far as cash, I was funding myself. And you know what it is too. When you somebody that comes from nothing, you think that that's the right way that you have to go about it because you don't know any better. So at one point, I had in between all my properties, well over $1 million and some change in cash out. So could you imagine, between all that money, that would have probably equated to, let's say, roughly 6 properties. I'm just making a rough. That same 1 point something million dollars that I had out, I could have done those same 6 properties with not even 10% of that money utilizing hard money.
Exactly.
So when I started understanding the game of leverage is where my business blew up.
Right.
So there are times that if the opportunity makes sense and I just need to get in and out of that situation real quick, I'll put up my own money. No problem. I buy it and then it is what it is. I own it, or I'll even refinance the money back out. But most of my deals now, I leverage it with hard money lending.
Okay. Yeah, and like you say, I mean, you mentioned, and I think that comes with um, education and background, because I mean, like let's say for instance, the Haitian background, they are proud to say that they don't use any credit. You know, they don't mess with credit. And I'm like, that is so detrimental to, teach your children in America, because America is built on credit, America is built on using other people's resources and money. I mean, even when it goes back to the slave days, free labor, but it's like the other people, you know, they teach their children about credit, leveraging money, all of that stuff. So as they get older, they're sort of in a better situation, while we come in thinking, well, yeah, I got some cash. I don't use credit. I'm better than you because I don't need credit or whatever. But at the end of the day, you're losing.
That's the hood mentality.
Exactly.
That's why that hood mentality of us thinking that I got $40,000 under my mattress, like you're doing something.
Like you're doing something.
I've had people come to me that have met up with me, literally, and have had a duffel bag with $100,000, $200,000, and be like, "Hey, I want to work
Right.
with you." And I'm like, "What am I gonna do with that? I don't care
Exactly.
who got." They come with the money. They think that they're doing something to me, like I'm gonna get excited, and
Like
I'm like,
you,
"Yo, bro, I can't do nothing.
yeah.
I don't. What am I gonna do with that money? I can't do nothing with
They
that. You
think
know."
they think you're gonna walk into a closing with a bag of money, like, and that's the mentality, and that's the crazy part
They
about
don't
it.
know.
They don't understand
That's
that.
why when they hear cash, when that's why when people hear me say, "Yeah, I use my own cash," or "I close with my own money," they a lot of the people think I'm coming there with a bag of money and saying, "Here." No, it's in the bank.
It's in the bank.
Yeah, but people don't understand that. And then you got people, our people that think because they got a bag full of money, that they got money. And no, you ain't got no
No,
money.
Right.
You can't do nothing with
you
that.
can't do
You know,
nothing.
so I want to see the people that think that they got money because they got this paper money, which is cool. When you see how slowly the paper is disappearing, I really want to see how you're going to be showing that you got bread now when that paper is no longer viable anymore. I'd love to see how you're going to show that now,
Right.
but good luck to you.
Yeah. And you make a valid point. That cash, man, it's the credit and the asset is what's holding the waste, because that cash ain't backed with anything. That $1 million you have today, you're gonna need 2 million in a couple of years to buy the same thing. You know,
Anybody that's saving, anybody that's just got their money in the bank saving, or they got their money in a 401k, or any one of those institutions that was created to screw you, you're gonna lose. As
yeah.
long as you want to just look at the money in the bank and feel good because you see that 10,000 in the bank and you're not gonna take that money and work that money, you're gonna lose.
And the crazy part about that is you put your money in the bank, but the bank is doing what you were supposed to be doing with the money. That money isn't sitting in a vault waiting for you. Once you put that money in, first of all, they're loaning that money out, and on top of that, they're investing that money, and they're giving you
That's
back
right.
fractions of pennies on your money, and you think you're doing something.
When you want all of it, they're telling you have to schedule a time to come get it. You just can't come get your money when you want it.
Exactly.
We better start educating ourselves a little bit more and start putting ourselves out there and start working because we have the capability of doing it. But you have to get that mindset to understand that you can do it too. And it's not just those other people that can do it because they're not smarter or better than us. It's
Right.
just that they got that opportunity before we had.
Right.
But with today's world now, with the education and everything else, it's so easy to get information. We can't continue using those excuses anymore.
That's true.
Now I see the changes happen because of technology. The technology is
It is.
now giving us so much information, and I see our people making progress. So, um, I mean, like I said, since the internet came out and YouTube, I see a lot of our people making plenty of progress. So I see a change. I see a change.
We live in the information age. There's nothing that you want to learn that you can't hop on your phone or your computer and figure it out. I mean, all the information is out there. Now, and that's funny because it brings me to my next question. Like, how do you feel about higher education? Is it relevant for success nowadays? You kind of touched on that with the law thing earlier.
Here's the thing that you want to be very careful about it.
Hmm.
About what and I want to be very careful because I don't want to imply telling people don't go to school
Right,
because that's going to be the easy way out to tell forget about going to school, getting your degree. I promise you, my future kids or my nieces and my nephews, they're gonna go to school. They have to
right,
go to school. You're gonna have to do something with
right,
yourself. But but school school for the most part doesn't prepare us for
right.
the real world. It just really doesn't, you know. And school, the way that it's being presented to people today, it's just prepping you to be basically
Yeah,
the new form of slavery. They're gonna have you work for the next 50 years and then die, and then they got the new batch of people to just replace you. So if you understand that and you okay with going through that and you happy with that, no one has any right to tell you
right,
you're crazy, you're wrong. Know that and you understand and you're happy, then great. But if you do understand that that's not what you want, there's other options that you can take if that's what you choose to do.
Right.
So I'm not against higher education. I educate myself, I think, every day, but it's not conventional. I constantly read books. I constantly watch podcasts. I constantly look at people that are much further along than me and pick up my education so I could tighten up my craft as much as possible. But I'm not against higher education. I don't think it's a bad thing, but just understand why is it that you're doing
right.
it and what the expectations
And
are out of it.
I,
That
I
that's how
view
I
Yes,
it the
view
sir.
it.
same way. Like, and I ask you that because, once again, coming from the background, it's like you got to go to school, you got to do this, you got to do that. That same mentality that's just been passed down, from generation to generation. And nowadays, like you said, not that you don't need school, but you can get a world of information without stepping your foot in a classroom. And like you said, it just depends on what you're trying to do. Because if, like, for instance, with me, I want my children to go to school, not because I believe school is going to save them per se, because I always teach entrepreneurship. First of all, I want to teach happiness. Do whatever is going to make you happy. If money's going to make you happy, then don't think, going to get some general degree or getting a degree just to get it, to get a job, you're going to be happy because you're going to be, SOL. So my thing is going to school for my children is more like a disciplined thing, but that's why I'm working so hard right now to build something for them because I want to build something that they can run. I want to build something that they're going to have access to where money is not an issue. If you want to be a lawyer, you can be a lawyer, you can be a doctor, but it's not necessarily because you know uh, you're looking for a career. It's just something that you love to do. So, that's just kind of my take on education. I mean, we're in the information age and everything you need is out there, but like you said, I mean, some people need that conformity. Basically, they need someone to tell them what to do. All right, you have to be to work at 8.
Most people do, and that's why I don't knock anybody with whatever
Right.
decision.
Of course.
Whatever it is that you want to do, that's okay, but just understand what it is and own it. Own it. Not everything is for everybody. That's okay.
Exactly.
Not everything is for everybody. And that's what they gotta understand that not everybody's gonna be a boss. Not everybody's gonna be a famous rapper. Not everybody's gonna be all that. So that's okay. As long as you understand that, just be the best that you can be of whatever it is that you want, whatever you want. Just be the greatest and the best that you can be, and carve your happiness on your
Facts.
own. You know.
You know, and I believe that 100%. Well, Welby, I know you're a busy man. I do really, really appreciate you taking the time out, you know, to talk to us. Could you just give everybody your handles where they can get in touch with you? You know, whether it's IG, wherever it may be, however you want people to get in
I'm
touch.
predominantly just on Instagram, so you can always get me at my best 197. That's A T as in Tom, M as in Mary, YBEST 197. And you can hit me up there, DM me, whatever, and we could talk everything real estate.
That's what's
Okay,
up.
definitely. And like I said, I appreciate it. I know we chopped it up. I got to come check you out up there pretty soon.
Definitely,
Anytime you're
definitely,
ready, man. I'm busy out here, so you're more than welcome to come and come check it out yourself.
Yeah,
definitely.
I got to come run with you.
Whatever you see I post, multiply that times 10, because I run like an animal out here.
Wow,
I hear you.
wow.
Not a bad thing. I'm out here running. So
Nah,
That's
that's
great. That's great.
that's definitely good. That's what we got to be doing. We got to be working so we can rest in a little bit. You know, build a machine.
definitely.
Hey, Welby, man, your story was very inspirational to me, man. You just motivated me a little bit more. Thank you for your time, and man, keep on pushing.
I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you so much, man.
All right, not a problem. We'll be in touch, Welby.
Absolutely, man. Thanks again. All right, guys.
All right, bro.
Appreciate you, bro.
Have a great day.
Later, y'all.
All right.